Hello, Kings fans. It is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. Yesterday was Media Day. Today was the kickoff to training camp. Uh, I am a data analyst. I'm a new Sacramento Kings fan. I'm going to dive into this team and this season by looking at the numbers. and I pulled play-by-play data from the last two seasons. I'm going to follow this coming season using the play-by-play data, build up my own metrics, my own dashboards, and do my own analysis. This is video 2, and I want to make sure that I listened to my first video and realized that I was assuming that the listener uh, was looking at my screen. I could see my screen, which, it is YouTube. I'm showing my screen. Um, but I personally mostly use YouTube just to listen. So I want to accommodate that. I want to accommodate that you may not be looking at this. You might just be listening to me. So I'm going to try to do a better job of saying what I see. Um, all right, so I've started with inspecting, trying to build up shooting metrics, and um, I developed my own. Right, I developed one of my own metrics, and I kind of wanted to explain it in the context of what shooting metrics are common and how mine relates to it. So here I'm showing last year's regular season, and I've got all the players that scored at least 750 points. And I'm going to sort by field goal percentage. So field goal percentage is, right, number of makes divided by number of attempts. The top of the list: Gobert, Jared Allen, Harrell, Zubac, Ayton, Jokic, Durant, Sabonis, Bam, Giannis. Okay. Now, at some point, somebody said, "Hey, 3-pointers are worth 3 points." So along comes the effective field goal percentage, um, which weights 3-pointers more, right? 50% more. And so we get this effective field goal percentage. I sort by that, and now we are taking into account the value of the shots. And you start to see, it's a lot of the same people, but now we have some like Luke Kennard has shot up, Seth Curry, Malik Monk, Desmond Bain, Halliburton, Kevin Herter. Right, you get some guys that are good at 2, but also good at 3 that make the big leap. Now, true shooting, says in addition to weighting 3-pointers more, right, we should also take into account that sometimes when a player takes a shot, right, the result is that they go to the free throw line. And then also, some people are better free throw shooters than others. So true shooting takes that into account. And now, free throws are weighted at 0.475 compared to a 2-pointer that's weighted at 1. And you get a true shooting percentage. We sort by that. That didn't shift a lot, but we do have, basically your good and frequent free throw shooters benefit from that, bring them up to the top. Okay, now there's 2 things that I don't like about any of these. One is, right, what is it? I mean, true shooting of 67%. I don't know. I mean, I can start to wrap my head around it, but what I'd rather think of is like when a player, right, the team has the ball, dribble, 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 pass, pass, pass. They take a shot, right, and this player X takes the shot. So let's say it's Karl Anthony Towns, right? The shot goes up. What's my expected points per shot? So for Karl Anthony Towns, it's 1.26. I like thinking in those terms better than as a percentage, especially when we start adding all this complexity. Um, Now, there's a second component here to this metric I've made that I think is significant. I think a really important part of the calculus of taking a shot, whether you should take a shot, right, is what's the rebounding situation, right? We see where a player takes a low percentage shot combined with no rebounders in place is a recipe for being yanked out of the game, right? Unless you're a superstar. Um, and we see it when guys are are considering a shot, and the shot clock's not at 2, right? They are inspecting the rebounding situation. And you see times where if they have a teammate or two that have sealed and are there to rebound, they might take a shot that's might not be their strength, but they see that if they miss, right, there's a tip, or they're going to maintain possession. And you see guys that might put up kind of a sloppy shot that they know that they're going to rebound, right? So I think it's really important and a poorly appreciated part of in terms of the metrics we use to think about shooting. So what I've done is when I when I'm looking at dividing by shot attempts, I'm filtering out misses that don't lead to a possession change. So if you miss and you rebound it or your teammate rebounds it, I'm not counting it, right? It's essentially just like a pass around the arc. It's like, right, it's you know, it's your team still has the ball, right? You're gonna get, it's your possession to get another shot up or a teammate to get a shot up. So um, now if you take a bad shot and you miss it and the other team gets it, well, yeah, that's gonna count, right? So true points per shot is what I'm calling it. I might come up with a better name, but if I sort this by true points per shot, right, here's my top 10. Luke Kennard, Seth Curry, Desmond Bain, Cameron Johnson, Steph Curry, Duncan Robinson, Jokic, Van Fleet, Finney Smith, Malik Monk. Right, that's when we start thinking about who are the best shooters in the game, right? That's who we list. Right, not just in terms of like, well, if we flip this upside down, let's see what the bottom of the list, right? If we flip this upside down and LeBron is there, right? Well, we might be like, what did you make, Daniel? But I flip this upside down and I get Russell Westbrook, Julius Randle, Reggie Jackson. Kings fans, I don't have to go that far down to get to Mitchell and Fox. Something we'll talk about. All right, so true points per shot. League average is 1.2. All right, let's look at last year. Sorry, let's look at the Kings using last year's data. So this is Kings' current roster. I'm going to sort by true points per shot. All right, you got 6 guys that are league average or better. At the top of that list is Holmes, Monk, Herter, Terrence Davis, Sabonis, and Barnes. And then it's a little bit of a precipitous fall, and you get down here in kind of the scary low, you get Lyles, Fox, Mitchell, Metu, Bazemore. Bazemore's 1.01 is, I mean, that's lower than Westbrook's. He just didn't have the points to make that filter. You know, Bazemore, he looks like he's in better shape. He could totally have a year this year that's nothing like last. But it's fair to say the last year he did not shoot well. He didn't shoot a high volume, and when he did shoot, it didn't often go in. There were some periods where he hit some corner threes, but that was about it. Okay. Um, I'm already showing my splits here. Let's just jump into it, right? My splits here are, Sabonis is a Sabonis. The addition of Sabonis fundamentally changed this team. Um, right, and here I see it. Right, Fox 1.12 on the year, but look at the splits without Sabonis on the court and with Sabonis on the court. Right, without Sabonis 1.1, with Sabonis 1.21 points per shot. That's significant. And only 13 games, not a lot. But I see some reason for optimism that that's a good combo. And it's not just Sabonis with Fox; it's Sabonis with anybody, right? If I just look for that, no Sabonis versus with Sabonis, everyone gets a bump. Some of the bumps are large, and right, look at Trey Lyles, 1.1 without Sabonis, 1.45 with. So, yeah, I do think Fox is going to have a better year. I think everybody's going to have a better year if Sabonis is healthy and playing. Um, I want to look at, let's slice this a little differently. Oh, okay, instead of is Sabonis on the court or not, bench versus starter. Um, Holmes, way better in the games where he started. 1.36 in 37 games as a starter. 1.07 points per shot in the 8 games off the bench. There might be some, explanation I don't know. I'm a new Kings fan. I know nothing almost about last season. Monk was an effective scorer off the bench and as a starter. 1.33, 1.30 as a starter. It's about 17 points per game as a starter. Herder, 14 games off the bench and a 1.07 points per shot. That is not good. But as a starter, he was fine. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what that 14 game stretch where they put him on the bench. Sabonis in his Hawk days, right? It's like you hear people, oh, he's got playoff experience, and had some good run in the playoffs, and I look at that, right? So if I look at the last 2 seasons, the playoffs, um, one, I mean, it's striking how little playoff experience this squad has in the last 2 years at least. It's Herder basically. 15 games as a starter in the playoffs, 1.07 points per shot. That is a bad number, and over 15 playoff games. Off the bench, 1.49. So that's crazy good. So I don't have the game logs in front of me, but when I'm with this in front of me, and people say, "Oh, he had great playoffs," so I'd say, "Yeah, he had great playoffs as a bench player." Um, right, 85 points in those 8 games. Very efficient. 160 points on 15 games, but on poor shooting as a starter. But last year, as a starter, 1.32 points per game in 62 starts. Not points per game, points per shot in 62 games for Kevin Herter. So not making an argument that he shouldn't start. What I am going to make an argument for actually is I think Herter should start. I think Monk should start. Um, look at the shooting on the team, and um, I think that the bench is going to really struggle to score. So I click on bench, and I look at this isn't who's going to be on the bench this year, but this is bench roles last year. Sabonis only played one game. Ignore him, right off the bench. There's Monk, who has proven in his time at Charlotte and the Lakers that he can score and score efficiently off the bench. After that, there is nobody that has proven in the numbers that they can be a good, efficient scoring option in the second unit. What happens if I grab Herter's the year before for Herter? A little better, 1.14. What if I combine those years? What if I combine those years? Sam Merrill, 1.42. Wow. But 29 games, 104 points. Not a lot of points, not a lot of shots, but that is a good uh, points per shot. Quinn Cook, Terrence Davis, they're around the league average. Okay, but my point is, I think that the second unit, whatever that is not going to find scoring as easy as the first unit. So then I'm going to bring back all this bench and starters. So then I look at these numbers and I think, wow, look, Monk and Herter are elite. They're both very good, efficient scorers. Um, and so Terrence Davis isn't that far behind. I think this team it would behoove them to find a place for Terrence Davis, and I think you can, to do that, it means figuring out how Monk and Herter are going to play together. Um, I don't know. That's what I'm seeing at the moment, just to cover your scoring foundation. Um, in terms of thinking about that 8th, 9th, 10th spot that's getting 15, 20 minutes a game, I don't think it's Herter starts, Monk gets 20 minutes. I think it's Herter and Monk are getting 30 minutes and Davis is getting 20. Something like that. Let's talk a little bit about Fox and Mitchell. They're both down there at 1.12. It's 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 a little troubling that Fox leads the team comfortably in points per game, and his points per shot is 1.12. Um, some ways, like you've got a like it's your point guard and somebody who like they need to be a threat and take shots. It opens up a lot of the game for them to create. Um, but I do hope that I think for this team to be good and to win, right? Fox is gonna his points per shot is gonna have to be closer to the league average, uh, which is what we saw when he had Sabonis on the court with him. Um, yeah, and in the media day, something that Fox mentioned that stood out to me was that he spent time this summer learning how to play off the ball. Right? What's that about? That's Sabonis, right? That's right. Sabonis had about as many assists as Fox. Right? Fox is going to have to learn how to get the ball to Sabonis and then, uh, go make cuts, go occupy space, right? Stretch. Like he's going to have to be an off-ball player, be better at it. Um, all right. I feel like my momentum's dying here, so I might circle the wagons and Um, if we take this up to the team level for a second, well, this is tricky, but I'll try to explain. Um, so I'm sorting teams by points per shot, um, but it's a little misleading because it's using this year's current rosters, but it's using last year's numbers. So it's like, yeah, it's the Sacramento Kings, but it's this year's players, right? It's not how they did as a team last year. So you have to take that into account when you look at these numbers. But if you sort by points per shot, there is something that stands out to me, right? The top of the list is Nets, Nuggets, Grizzlies, Heat, Suns, Bucks, Pacers, Warriors. Okay, the bottom of the list: Thunder, Magic, Lakers, Pistons, Rockets, Blazers, Raptors, Pelicans, Kings, Wizards. Um, there's you just the correlation there is jumping off of like it's a pretty good indication of like if you're a good team or not, right? If you're gonna win, you see some exceptions in there, right? But it's you know, no single metric is gonna sort the NBA by finishing place. But this actually does a fairly good job. It makes me want to if I could actually flip this so that the rosters were last year's rosters. Um, I think it would even strengthen that correlation. But part of what I'm doing here is just kind of showing like this points per shot thing. It's like it's a decent metric to be paying attention to. Where does this go from here? Well, yeah, you'll have to come see the next video or something. But all right, Kings fans, see you next time.